What is the difference between organic, conventional, and GMO? That is the question. Welcome to Chrysalis Chats. My name is Tanya, and this is where we talk about topics I feel are important in our collective transformation into a new, improved society. So, you're in the supermarket, you're in the local store, you're at the farmer's market, and you want to know, what should you put in your body? What should you be eating, and what is the difference between organic, conventional, and GMO produce, okay? So we're diving into it. Organic agriculture is agriculture that uses a more symbiotic relationship with the land, okay? In organic agriculture, there are no harmful substances, generally speaking, to the human body, okay? So we don't have the toxic pesticides. We don't have the toxic herbicides. We don't have the toxic fertilizers that go into a lot of conventional farming, okay? We also have farmers, generally speaking, we'll talk about the difference between small farms and industrial agriculture in a later video, but we also have farmers who are working more in authentic relationship with the land, okay? So in science, we have this beautiful way of summarizing relationships and how organisms and people, right, as an organism, if we want to call us that, relate with each other and relate with the earth. So there's mutualism. These are ecological relationships, ecology being the study of how living and non-living organisms interact with each other and their environment. So there's mutualism, which is where two organisms both benefit each other. So you benefit me, I benefit you, we both work in each other's favor. Mutualism. Okay. Then we have parasitism, okay? So you have a parasitic relationship, that's like that toxic relationship where people just want you to put in, and you're just giving, or maybe you're the other person, maybe you're just taking, and you're not giving, right? So that's parasitism. And then we have commensalism. I hope I'm saying that right. So that is actually where neither, where one benefits and the other does not get harmed, okay, in the process. So it's like, if I choose to give you cookies every week, and I'm giving you cookies every week, it's just because I'm making cookies, it's no sweat off my back, okay? Here's some cookies. That's kind of an example of that. So it's where you're not really getting exploited like you would be in a parasitic relationship. I hope that makes sense. Those are the three ecological relationships. Anyway, organic agriculture is all focused in the mutualism zone, okay? So how do we symbiotically work with the land? We're going to get our crops? Yeah. We're going to get our delicious fruits? Yeah. We need our health? Yeah. We want beautiful vegetables, and we need to be fed and have abundance, and we're going to do it organically. How are we going to do that? Symbiotically with the earth. Are we going to extract all the nutrients out of the soil and not give anything back? Are we going to fight the natural cycles? Okay? Are we going to work intelligently, and are we going to honor the system that we're working within? Organic agriculture, generally speaking, honors the system that it's working in. Okay? So in organic agriculture, what you'll see is farmers working with the land. So we're putting in natural compost. We're taking all of our plants that are garbage, right, and we're breaking them down into their natural form of nutrients, humus, okay, so that we can nourish the earth in return. There's something called green manure. That's where farmers will take all their weeds or other green material that they don't want to use, and they'll just recycle it back into the earth. They'll till it back into the earth and let it decompose. And what does that do to the soil? It replenishes it. It's a conditioner. It's like you condition your hair, you put oil in your hair. Same concept for the plants, okay? So it's putting in nitrogen, it's putting in all these awesome micronutrients that need to be there, and it's making the soil more light and airy and fluffy so that the plants can thrive. Versus conventional, let's hop to that, agriculture. In conventional agriculture, what you might do in that instance is add more synthetic or more complex, less natural substances, okay? So if we have an issue with production, we want to produce more food, okay, and we're going to do it conventionally. What we're going to do is we're going to utilize a lot of really toxic substances like a pesticide, like a fertilizer, like a herbicide, okay? Instead of pulling the weeds, we're going to use an herbicide to kill the plant, okay? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense if you think about it from that more symbiotic, mutualistic relationship, okay? That is a very important ecological distinguishment between conventional agriculture and organic agriculture, okay? So in conventional agriculture, there's more of this, you could call it a limited mindset. It's tunnel vision. We want to just achieve our objective, achieve that objective, right away. We want to get the most harvest. We don't care what's happening to the land. We're not thinking long term. We just want the food now. We want the most now, and we're going to do whatever it takes to get it, without the long-term vision for what are you doing to your soil structure. If you want to dive into this, if you are interested in this, look up soil science. There is so much vast information on the internet and books all over on the science of soil structure. There's so much bacteria, there's so much life in soil, healthy soil, okay, that you can really study. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about this. But anyway, conventional agriculture, in other words, what is the result of that? It depletes the land, okay? It takes out the nutrients and it puts in a concentrated, unnatural form of nutrients. Maybe it's fish poop, right? Fish emulsion, you'll see it referred to as on labels. And they're just putting that in at high concentrations, just high concentrations all the time. And maybe there's actually a synthetic fertilizer in there. So something we see as a detriment of conventional agriculture is eutrophication, and that's from an excessive amount of nitrogen fertilizer put into the system. And what happens is this excessive amount of compressed, ultra-dense nitrogen ends up in our water systems, and then in areas like the Gulf of Mexico, for example, it ends up going through these tributaries from the middle of the United States and landing in one concentrated zone. So what happens is all the nitrogen from this intensified parasitic form of agriculture will land in this one specific zone. And so nitrogen, of course, increases algal blooms, okay, in these oceanic areas. And what happens is the area gets taken over, the water, by algae. And you might be thinking, who cares? It's algae, it's in water, cool, that happens, right? Actually, it causes something really harmful called hypoxia. Hypoxia, okay, is when all the oxygen is depleted out of the water because these plants, being the algae, are actually soaking up all of the oxygen. And so what happens is it creates an acidic pH, an acidic environment, and the fish and the coral and the other life forms living in those oceanic environments are no longer able to be sustained, okay? And this is all from conventional industrial agriculture. And we're going to talk more about industrial versus small farm in a later episode, okay? But what I want you to get now is that conventional agriculture, no judgments to farmers who are using these methods. And, you know, this is not an entirely black and white scenario, okay? But generally speaking, organic agriculture is very different from conventional agriculture, okay? So no judgments against the farmers. A lot of times there's not a lot of education going on here, or there's other financial limitations that people have faced, and so they're then going towards conventional agriculture. Organic farming, to get that label on your produce, it costs, okay? It costs a lot of money. So if you're thinking about going to the grocery store and that organic label is a little more expensive, it costs a few cents more, think about what the farmers are going through to achieve that. It is a process. They have to go through a huge application, they have to pay for that label to happen, and then they have periodic checkups from outside organizations that are issuing that certification to make sure that everything is lined up how they need it to be, okay? So in organic agriculture, we're avoiding toxic substances. In organic agriculture, we are producing a more natural plant, okay, that has less toxins in it, that is generally speaking more healthy for your body and your general consciousness, okay? So when we think organic, we're thinking no extra fuss. We're thinking purity. We're thinking in relationship, in symbiosis, in mutualism with the earth. We are thinking holistic, okay, with organic. Conventional is like the Green Revolution in the 1950s. We're going to put all this different crud in our food that's totally toxic to our body because we need to kill the insect that's eating the food, inadvertently not necessarily thinking about the long-term ramification of the fact that you're spraying this plant with a toxic substance that is killing the insect because it's attacking their neurosystem, and that maybe some of that substance is ending up in your body as you consume that produce. Okay? Now GMO, that's this week's theme. GMO is when we actually alter the genetic structure of something. So corn in the United States, over 99% of corn produced in the United States is genetically modified, okay? And that said corn is registered with the U.S. government as an insecticide. What? Let that process for a second. We are consuming, and the animals that we're consuming are consuming a piece of vegetable or fruit, as it may be, that is registered with the government as an insecticide. Insecticide being a substance that kills insects. We're eating that. We are ingesting that. What do you think, if we're thinking critically, that is doing to your body? What do you think that is doing to you at a cellular level when you are eating a substance that is registered with the government as being toxic to an insect and killing them, right? It obliterates insects. That is a GMO, okay? Genetic modification. You can go back and watch my video, What is a GMO? But that is the summary. We are genetically altering something's structure in a way that would not otherwise happen in nature. So it's kind of like conventional agriculture on steroids, okay? Point of this video, in my opinion, I hope that you learned something here. In my opinion, organic agriculture is definitely the best. I have worked with the land as well as farmers in the community. We'll talk about it more in future videos, but it is healthier for your body. It is healthier for this planet, and it is healthier for everybody on it, okay, period, no matter who you are. If you're a human, you're an animal, you're an insect, okay, you're a microbe in a soil, organic agriculture is the way to go. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your attention. I really appreciate you. If you like this video, I would so appreciate it if you subscribed, hit the like button, put a comment. Let me know what you think, okay? I so appreciate you. You are a beautiful butterfly in process. Have a great day.